What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. In this week's video, we're talking writing chord progressions. And specifically, it's going to be minor or harmonic minor influenced, right? Our kind of base chord, or where the idea stems from, is an A minor 9 chord, and we're going to draw a little bit or pull a little bit from harmonic minor. But let's give the example a listen to, and then we'll come down, we'll break it down, and I'll kind of give you my thought process through it all. So before we jump in and break down all those chords, I am in a standard tuning, and you can find the links for the tabs down in the description below. So as I stated earlier, our idea kind of started with this A minor 9 chord. It's a really nice voicing. It uses some open strings, your open 5th string, and then your open 2nd and 1st strings. And then in the middle, you're grabbing C and E with your first 2 fingers, or 10th fret D, 9th fret G. Really pretty chord, really nice voicing. You get a lot of emotion kind of tied up in there. So as I'm picking this out, I'm waiting to hit that open B note, because that's the color note, right? That's going to give our A minor all that kind of sadness, because it's going to clash C, because they're right next to each other, right? B, C, they're half steps, okay? So that's going to come out in that chord, which is why that chord sounds so emotional. So as I'm picking, right, I want that note to be the note that stands out, all right? Now, a typical thing that I like to do is, half step movement or really close voice leading, especially in the bass line. So we're playing open A, 12th fret on the A, we can easily just step down to the 11, and that's the note we're going to draw on. And the chord that makes, get the C augmented chord, all right? So I mentioned earlier that we're kind of drawing from A harmonic minor, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A, okay? So when I put the G sharp in with the C chord, we now get a very fun augmented chord. And if I continue that and build my 7th chord, still have the B, which is from the A minor chord, right? So now we have this really nice major 7 augmented or sharp 5 chord, right? Kind of Lord of the Rings-esque, right? So here we just have that chord in its own inversion, right? We have 11, 10, 9, which is G sharp, C, and E. So the C and E are carrying over from the first chord. We're just changing that one note. Now here, I'm just taking the color note that we took from B, and I'm putting it up an octave here on the B string, and that sounds really nice. Okay? So again, still staying in that A minor, we can play this F chord, and I'm just going to go. But we're going to stay there. We're going to draw up off this chord. It's an F major 7 chord, 8, 10, 9, 10, or F, power chord C, there's my 7th E, and then my 3rd A up top. Okay? A minor and C are the same key, right? The C major is the parent key, so F would be the 4 chord of that key. So it's acts as a nice transition chord. We're kind of going somewhere. You could probably get away with repeating this idea and not really going anywhere, and maybe layering more on top of it. So it's not really moving, kind of like static harmony. The 4 chord acts like a transition chord. So that's going to kind of come across. We're actually going somewhere now in our chord progression. And here, again, I always like to put some movement on those upper notes that I'm kind of focusing on. And since that high B is where our attention is, our attention, not tension, I'm going to take that note and slide it down to the chord tone. Okay? And then we're going to move to some tension chords. Right? I'm building a tension chord off of E, just continuing down. Okay? And E is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E. The fifth, and that's your dominant chord. That's where you can put tension in and it resolves nicely. I could play that 5-1 traditional Western harmony kind of cadence. All right, but here, rather than doing a straight up E7 chord, I'm just building tension. It's a diminished chord. 7, 8, 6, 8. I'm reaching up there and getting that. And when you pick it out, kind of put a little melody on it. A, G, E, G on it, so you don't have to hold out the entire chord, but do try to let the bass notes ring out. And E and the 7 and the 8. Okay? And then in the example, we're going to take those chords and then put them down here. So before I do that, I just want to mention that, I could have easily just repeated this idea. And when I originally was writing it, I actually did. The only thing I did was, instead of ending on this diminished chord, I moved it up here to this position, creating a different kind of tension vibe. So I was going... right? And that works. But for the example, I was like, you know what if I made a variation of these chords and I brought them down to the lower octave? So rather than playing this A chord here, I come and play it here. Actually the same chord. I still have my open 5, my open 2, and my open 1, but here my notes are now E and C, whereas over here they were C and E, right? It's a different interval, just flipping them around, but it's the same note. So I still get my A minor 9 sound. Okay, my G sharp is on 4. Right, and here I just grabbed an E7 chord rather than putting the C in. This chord, the C augmented sharp 5 chord. Right? I didn't want to put the C here. It didn't sound good. There's no movement there, right? I wanted the movement. So that C drops down. And then I put a D on top of it, and that gives us an E7, just a plain old E7 chord. So I'm still referencing that 5-1 cadence, right? And then for some fun, put a little slide in there, just having some fun. And now I'm kind of playing this F major 7 chord down here, just from an F bar chord, really, F octave in the 3rd. And then with my pinky, I'm going to grab the D, keep the open E. So the open E is the 7th, the D would be your add 13, your 6th sound, but it sounds nice. Again, I could pick it out, but I put that little figure on it, playing off the previous slide. Right? And then rather than ending on that one, I bring in the variation I did before and I put the tension on a higher position. And I kind of mimic that kind of rhythmic motif. But I'm playing up here, open E, 11, 12, 10, 13, 10, 12 on the high string. And that's really just, again, an E7 chord with a flat 9 and a sharp 5 chord tone, right? Very just altered tension tones. So it's my root note, my G sharp, the major sound, my 7, so E7's right here, O, 11, 12. My flat 9 is F. The C note can act as your sharp 5, B is your 5, I can play that chord. Right? Sounds nice. So put that other extra alter tone in there. Sounds really nice. And there you go, guys. Writing chord progressions #1. I hope you dig that. Like I said, down in the tabs in the description below, you can find links for the tabs. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm gonna try to make this a little series. I got a couple more chord progressions planned out. See if you guys like it, and we'll just keep rolling with it. All right. So as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.